This episode of An Unexpected Podcast is brought to you by Shane Runge. Thank you.
Hello, friends, and welcome to An Unexpected Podcast. I'm Lane.
And I'm Ez.
And we're talking Tolkien.
We're coming to you from the Shire of America, the beautiful state of Ohio, in a little village they call Amanda.
Not bad. This week we're contemplating Sauron's legacy as we continue our reread and journey to the Crossroads as a part of our journey, a little redundant there, through Middle-earth.
Wow.
How are you, brother?
His legacy, huh?
You know, it can't. This evil will be overtaken by good. It will. It won't last forever. The evil won't last forever. Frodo has a revelation.
I sure hope not.
Me too.
Well, I'm thinking about my legacy. I'm thinking about your legacy and the legacy that you'll be leaving right here with Winnie and
wow, that's deep, man.
Crushfruit number 2,
who by the time this is out there may be here. He or she may be out here.
Yeah, right.
You don't. Yeah, it's kind of hard to predict at this point. We're sort of recording a few weeks ahead to make sure that you guys don't have any kind of break because we love you that much. You know?
Yeah, we love you guys. We love you. Okay,
yeah, we do.
So there may be a lapse though. We'll let you know on Facebook. We'll have an announcement. And kind of go from there. But yeah, so right now we're on
cloud 9 right now.
We're on cloud 9.
We just got done talking to Shane Runge, and the same spirit, Ezra.
Yeah.
That I felt after talking to Tammy Lane.
Yep.
Is here right now.
Yep.
I feel like I don't know. What an amazing human being.
Yeah.
His joy and his energy totally contagious. Yeah. I don't know. Again, it felt like we were talking to an old friend. Left us on a high. The moments that he shared with us that we had never heard before. Mm-hmm. His perspective, even on his experience in Middle Earth, and his story of, again, how like destiny had a huge part to play in his life leading up to, his involvement in The Lord of the Rings was just amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like one of the things that struck me, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I mean, he's I don't know, he was so genuine. The way, we'd be talking about something, if we had a misconception or something, I mean, he just laid it out there. He was very he's very straight, straight shooter. And I really, appreciated that. And I was telling Lane afterwards, like, just work hard.
Yeah. He's
just put it on my back. Let me work hard, and I
think The Rock wishes he was him.
I think he does too.
Yeah.
I honestly, we had so much fun with him. I just can't it's hard to even get it out of our mind. Yeah. So we're bringing it up the next couple episodes.
Yeah.
Probably.
And we Skyped with him too. So we got to actually see his face, which was cool. Mm-hmm. And it just
legendary, by the way.
Yeah. It enhanced the, he wouldn't call himself a legend, but he is.
He is. He absolutely is.
And his humility only adds to that legend in our minds.
And I want to say another big takeaway that we got is, I think a lot of folks, he even said, know him for his stunt work and then some of his acting roles in Lord of the Rings and stuff. But it's actually the combination of the two that's really interesting and it's really done it for him. And that to bring something to life. He's a creature. What's that called? A coach. Like coaches people on how to bring
creature movements
to life. Yeah. There's if you can stay tuned, if you didn't get a chance to go back and listen to the I guess it was the last third of that where he starts to talk about breathing.
Oh my gosh.
And just he was coaching us through some stuff. It was motivational. I mean, he was uplifting. Yeah. Just a good storyteller too. I mean, I don't know. From humble beginnings, and he's still a humble guy.
Yeah, he is.
Such a humble guy.
Yeah, he is.
So
that was an amazing experience. I'm sure you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, and we wanted to bring that to you because you guys deserve to have those perspectives and those stories given to you. These are films that we all love, and he had a huge part to play, as did Tammy, in bringing those to us. And it was cool just how he was talking about they helped create it, but we have kept
kept
that creation alive as
Yeah.
fans of the movies and the stories and
years later. Yeah.
and it's just beautiful, cool partnership. So
Right.
yeah, if you're picking up on the stuffiness, guys, I apologize. I can't really breathe right now.
Lane's
I
been
just
sniffing too
realized
much,
that.
guys.
Too much sniffing.
I didn't think it was possible, but
Well, Rachel, I got to tell you, I sniffed so hard that my sniffer's gone.
guys, he legitimately blew out his nostril. Okay, there was
The
like
candles
blood everywhere.
smell so good, and if you guys have not gotten your unexpected candle yet, go do it. TexasCandleCakery.com. An unexpected candle is out there. There are 3 signature scents. She's making us feel like movie stars or something.
Yeah,
like
she's
when we can say our book club has a signature scent. Come on.
That's kind of great.
There's Goldberry's River Water.
Yeah.
There is Old Toby.
Yep.
And there is Fangorn Firewood. And they are all amazing. They come with the wood wick, so you hear that crackle as you get to, enjoy the sniffing as well. And it's the perfect companion to the podcast, the book club, and your times spent in the text of Tolkien.
Yeah.
Wow. Quick counsel. How are you, my friend?
Well, I don't normally say I'm better than Lane. I'm not better than him, but
Your
I
hair
think,
is drier.
Yeah, my hair's dry.
not as wet.
Thank goodness.
No.
I was sweating like a crazy man earlier trying to get all the technology going.
And I got to applaud you for that, bro. I mean, I honestly, I set these things up, and I don't think about the crap I put on you, and you're able to figure it out and wizard it.
I told you that. I told you. You do it. You set it up. I will be there, and we will get it done. We will
Great
figure out a
partnership,
way.
my friend.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
Because I want you to be able to rely on me for that. So, and it was fun. It was, and it challenges me. I actually like the production side of I keep learning and growing and learning more things, just about podcasting and just film and different things. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
But I'm doing well. I don't have a cold. I actually was sick for like 3 weeks there. My kids are all sick at school, and I have invested in Clorox wipes. Whoever the
Are you
company is.
just drinking it now?
Yeah,
or-
that's all I do.
Don't do that.
No, I'm sorry. No, that was messy. No. But I do wipe down all the tables and the doorknobs. I've even gone that crap. Just, anything they touch, I'm wiping it down. So I'm good. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm motivated. I got a lot of cool stuff going on. Just, I don't know, personally, things I can't share right now that are happening in my personal life that are actually really exciting. I'll be able to share in about a month.
Will you tell me ever? Or
I think I've already told you. It's just, something that's happening in a month. Yeah. Think about it for a sec. Anyways.
we don't really talk, so I don't. Nothing's coming to mind.
Nothing's coming to mind. That's okay. I don't reply to Lane's text messages anymore either. So
Oh gosh, dude!
geez.
It came out at dinner tonight. We're sitting at the village, and I'm like,
It's
"Did you
bad.
get my text message?" He goes, "Bro, I don't read any of those."
Dude,
I was like, "Well, there's the truth. It came out. I got witnesses.
I reply with nonsense.
I got witnesses."
No,
But
it is crazy. It was funny because I was coming down. My headspace has been this has been a great week, but
Yeah.
I feel like I've been all over the place. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And so I'm coming down here and I'm asking Lane questions. He's like, yeah, literally just 3 hours ago I told you what's up there. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, all right.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So how you doing, buddy? Are you
I'm
anxious?
doing good, man.
All right.
Yeah, no, I'm sort of disappointed is the wrong word, but
Well.
Sarah and I just had this weird premonition and feeling and all these different signs that we were going to have this baby by now.
Yeah.
It is March 1st today. It is happy birthday, Aragorn.
Yeah. Happy
And
birthday.
Death Day. Who does that?
I don't know.
Only
Tolkien.
the king of all kings, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
So I really thought the baby was going to be born today. But then I'm like, you know what, Lane? Maybe, beggars, you're spoiled enough that Winnie was born on December 19th, which is the day Fellowship of the Ring came out.
Yeah.
Sarah's birthday, November 3rd,
Yeah.
is actually the day the War of the Ring officially ended. Battle of Bywater.
Wow.
So yeah, spoiler alert. We'll get ahead to that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. I just had a feeling, and we're just really ready to have the baby, and meet it, boy or girl. We don't know. So it'll be fun.
That's exciting. I'm excited.
Yeah, but it's just been it's been good. It's mostly just I don't know. I'm feeling. I don't know what.
You're
I don't know, bro.
What?
I don't know.
You don't know how you feel.
I don't know. I'm in one of those weird funks where I feel very kind of uninspired, and mostly to do with like teaching. I just feel like people don't see the good stuff I do. People just see my mess ups, and it's all the it's the paperwork side that, in my opinion, doesn't matter anyway. It's the relationships you have with kids and things like that, and nobody sees that stuff. Nobody notices. Yeah, and that part's kind of I don't know. It's discouraging because I feel like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? And it's this is a weird time in teaching too, and teaching is a weird profession because you have a beginning and an end. Most other jobs, you have projects or whatever, but there's not like an end of the year. You know what I mean? It's like a school year. We have a beginning and end, and there's a lull. And there's a lull where it's usually this time of year because the weather's all weird and we're near the home stretch, but we're not close enough that we can see it, and it's just kind of hard to stay. I don't know.
Yeah, to say inspire, like you said, motivated, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Dude, I was actually just thinking, like, today, just in watching my good friend Lane here, you guys have to know, I'm going to say this. He puts in a lot of work before we start the show, after the show.
We both do.
I know
we love this.
But I just want folks to know, because you've got a family, we've got like just a lot of the teaching side of things. You're sick now. I mean, the I don't know.
I've been sick for a long time, brother. It's in the head.
It's one of okay. Well, but I just wanted to say, because like it is so much fun to do. But we often sometimes it can be overwhelming,
And I think that's a good thing too. Thanks for that, by the way. I love you, and you're the same way. But it is good because you don't want no stress, because then you're not motivated to do anything. But sometimes I don't always handle stress the best way, and I don't look at it. It's like with the baby, right? And I was starting to get stressed because Sarah has entered into like early stages of labor, and I was like, holy crap, it's too early. It's too early. Yeah. And I had this moment of probably 2 or 3 hours where I was freaking out, and I was kind of like, I not the right attitude. Yeah. And I stepped back and I was like, dude, what do you love about life? That it's unpredictable, that it surprises you, and that you can look back on it and have a great story. That's what's happening right now. Yeah. So shut up, get your mind straight, and realize you're lucky to be having children. Yeah. And this might never, ever happen again. Sarah might never be pregnant again, and be looking forward to, having this experience. So embrace it. Embrace the unknown. Embrace the surprise of it all, and take life as it comes. And it's amazing how sometimes you got to snap yourself out of that and see life for what it is. But yeah.
I know we always go for the longest quick counsel that we can, but let me just real quickly. I was speaking to someone, probably last week or a couple weeks ago, and the conversation, it was a great conversation, very motivating and things, but I just had this feeling, I had this thought, almost like Frodo. I had like this vision that this sort of came to me. It's been a while ago, but it's been lingering, and it's I don't know how. The only way I know how to put this, there's a verse in the somewhere in the Bible, and someone can post it in the comments, but that talks about looking for the increase and looking for good things to come. Yeah. And I don't know. I just feel like it is kind of that time of year, and so I want to just say to anyone who is listening and members of our book club that, like, I have a feeling, I have, for some reason, this like vision that things, that there's a great increase coming. Yeah. And I don't know why. Yeah. I feel that way. I've just felt that way for a while, and I haven't said it. I've been waiting. I've been trying to figure out when to say it. When to drop it. But there it is. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what's going to happen. And it may just be an uplift in spirit. It may be whatever. Sure. Fellowship is a big thing. Friendship that we have, like, those are all the really solid things that that is, I mean, forget all the other stuff. We have a really good thing going there, and that's all we really need. Yeah. So anyways.
It's all of you guys. And that part never gets old. Like, the fact that we're all in this together that's only encouragement. So, but I mean, man, I can't complain. Life is great. Yeah. Life is great.
Stuff. Good things happening. So it's even better because you've been dropping some Eves.
Bro, Eves, he grieve, he heave, but he dropped no Eve. God, I could look at that meme all day long. Yeah. But there's all kinds of show news abound. I'm sure by this time we've got another map clue. But at this moment in time, we have just had the new map revealed on this past Monday, on the 25th of February. Mm-hmm. And so that theory that the number of rings was the number of days until the next clue reveal map reveal was true.
Right.
That was very good, prediction for whoever put that out there originally. And so we've got a new map. We've got some new names. Everyone's just as confused as we were before. But we have some different ideas, you and I, about maybe what this might mean. We've kind of posted them already, so they're out there. But, what do you think that this newest rendition of the map is trying to tell us? What are they trying to reveal to us?
So this is the one that came with the 9 the 9 rings.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So I don't exactly know, other than I was looking at, when the elves move from east to west and then they come back again. If you look at the whole course of everything and how their movement took place, and also there was a shifting and shaping of the land. But when you look at this, like the coastal region, man, I saw all this stuff along the coast.
Yeah.
And I've been, the more that I've been in like the Silmarillion and just learning about some of the histories and stuff, and you think about, Numenor and just a return and these different, I don't know, like it's just interesting that all these new names, most of them, except for, and I can't say it, the old name for the Lorien. Yeah.
Laura Lindor.
There it is, man. There it is. You nailed it. You nailed it, buddy. I always turn to you for the
David
great...
Sallow. You can, take lessons from me, my friend.
Yeah. But let me see here. So I don't know. I was looking. There's I can't remember if I've been learning about Dal Amroth. I think Dal Amroth is this port city, right? And I think it's down here. I can't remember if it's next. It's next to one of these names. Oh gosh, what's the one that starts with B there? Is it
Belfalas?
Belfalas? Yeah, I think it's near there. But anyways, I've been trying to do just a little bit more research on the other, cities, ports, the rivers that are coming in here, the Great River and things, and seeing what may be happening there. I'm still confused on what age it may be, where, is, I don't know. There's a lot that I don't.
People are split.
They are.
Right down the middle.
They really are, between second and third.
Our poll even revealed that it's pretty much right down the middle, second and third age. So, yeah.
But it's older, though, right? So that's what I'm to lead into. I've heard your thoughts. It's an older version.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, especially with, and without people's expertise and me reading their greater knowledge than what I have, I wouldn't have necessarily picked up on that definitely not as quickly. Mm-hmm. But the older name for Rohan, the older name for Lorien, I don't know. So do you think that the next clue will drop on 9 days from that, which would be March 6th? Do you think on March 6th we'll have something else?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I did, I looked at that and I started just thinking more about the ring verse, right? And I was like, okay. And I went back to the movies, and I was like, as Galadriel's reading them, she ends with, but they were all... Because I was like, I went to the natural conclusion, which is the one ring to rule them all. And I was like, but they were all of them deceived.
Yep.
And I'm like, are they trying to tell us that this has all just been deception? Is Galadriel warning us here?
Yeah.
Is this all just a big setup for not what we think it's going to be something, and then it's not? And then my mind went to, okay, well, this is a map, right?
Yeah.
Is this someone's map?
Mm-hmm.
And is this someone's map who may have gotten it from a place where, maybe it hasn't been redone for a while, and there are some older names on it?
Mm-hmm.
And are we filling these names in as maybe those places have been visited or those places have been learned about? And then I just thought, like, if this is someone's map and it's older and it was obtained from a place that I'm thinking Rivendell.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Then that could fit in, because we're still hearing these rumors about Aragorn that has not been crushed yet. And we have got these actors' names floating out there who cast for a young Aragorn. We've got actresses' names being thrown out there for being cast as a young Arwen. Sure. And it could all be hearsay, it could all be rumor, but some of these people, the LOTR Prime account is following.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
And that's pretty big, because they don't follow just anybody. And so I thought that's a way this map with all these old names could tie into the whole idea that this story is still about a young Aragorn. Maybe this is his map. So that's my big theory. Because At first, I wasn't a fan, just because I didn't want. I'm afraid Aragorn might get messed up. I don't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what though? They're going to do it the right way, and I can't get enough Aragorn in my life, so I want this to be about him. So that's me trying to justify this too. Like, Second Age is cool, and that would be great, but let's make it about Aragorn. I'm all about that. At least the first season, and then we can take it from there and see what else happens. So that's sort of, I don't know. That's sort of where my mind went, and it's all just, concocted out of nothing. But
no, I think it's great. I mentioned the shoreline for like just the reason that gosh dang, I mean, it was, when was this? When you how the land shifts, I think it's Beleriand. It's this part of it that sunk into the sea, right?
Yeah.
And this whole new coastline forms, right?
Yep.
So, and then all of a sudden we see all these names on the coastline.
Yep.
Which I thought was kind of interesting. That wait a second. So all of a sudden, these names are they're that's the names they chose to show us. Most of those names. So I feel like those are the major players, and then we move inland a little bit or something. I don't know. That's where I was thinking. I love your thought though of him finding this map and like an ancient, it's him younger, so that's older. It's an old. So he is. We're going back in time, right?
Yeah.
And then he also may find an old map. That's his map that you say guides him around.
Maybe Elrond gives it to him.
I think that's extremely cool.
Yeah.
Another thing, and I want to hear other folks' thoughts on this. I just was doing some last minute digging here, and I didn't realize that when they do go far east here and they show these that mountain range there, that's sort of the idea that's where the dwarves come from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't quite, because with
out in Rune? That area over there?
Out past that. I mean, like that mountain range.
The easternmost range?
That's according to some people here, that it's believed that it was hinted at or rumored. Let me see if I can find
Are those
the
the Red
phrase.
Mountains or whatever? What are those called?
I don't have that in front of me.
I don't know, guys. Some of the stuff is brand new to me. That's what I love about this. It's causing us to dig deeper.
Yeah, it just says. I was reading in an article here. IGN, all these different folks have done lots of different. There's a bunch of. This is AV Club.
They're having a field day.
They're going nuts with it. Yeah. So some evidence that the Tolkien lore, in the Tolkien lore, that these mountains were the home to the first dwarves.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then given the symbols on the map, they're trying to make that. They were just surprised by how much we saw there in the east.
Yeah, right.
So there's that too. So you're kind of all over the place. And then, as you said, we could just be being deceived.
Could be.
So
could be.
All of them.
I also latched onto. I wanted to bring up too the Ross Morthil location, because I went and I searched all these areas, because some of them especially that one, I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it popped up that this is the region where the Druidine were and I was reminded of our friend Gonbury Gon, or Ganbury Gan. I don't know how to say his name. And just the history of the Druidine and how fascinating they are, and especially the role that Ganbury Gan plays in the Return of the King, and hastening the Rohirrim to the Battle of Pelennor Fields, and the tragic kind of existence of those. Are we going to see them? Like, they would be a fascinating people to see that we haven't explored yet. So just what direction are they going to go? What are they thinking? It's a lot of fun to think about now. So
right.
So yeah, I think it's Aragorn's map. I think he got it from someone in Rivendell, possibly Elrond, and he's using it out on his his early travels. I don't know. But it'll be cool to see what happens. Nat Estrada notified us that the Loteron Prime account is following Megan Fox. Now, she put this up in the group, and a lot of people she said, what do you guys think? What do uppers think about Megan Fox being cast in the show? Yeah. And so I wanted to ask you, would you cast her?
Would I cast her?
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would.
Okay.
I would. Now, I also, though, I think it depends. I think you got to be. I don't know. Now I'm starting to rethink that.
See, no, but okay, because I'm gonna back you up here.
Okay.
Because I can't remember. Gosh, I'm sorry, guys. One of our wonderful uppers had the comment. They were like, "What did Liv Tyler do before Lord of the Rings?"
Yeah.
What did she do before?
Right.
It wasn't anything groundbreaking. It was Armageddon is the only thing I can think of, and her dad's music videos. So, it's not like, I think we have the stigma on Megan Fox, whatever. that she's kind of vapid, but or vapid, however you say that word.
I don't know.
But dude, I'm like, you know what? If
I think it's interesting.
I don't know, like I think it's cool to give. I don't know, actors
would
and
be
actresses
really-
second chances, especially when you I don't know. But then there's the whole question of, do we have known or unknown actors?
But yeah, I mean, okay, when you're talking about Megan Fox here, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, what if she goes in here and just just like
Knocks it out of the park.
I mean, and it's just like really shows off, her acting skills, just goes crazy. I don't know, they work with her. I feel like it could be.
It would either be really good or terrible.
Right.
There's no middle ground.
Right. There's no.
Yeah.
I think
that's
or
why
she plays a
that's-
minor role, and it's a minor character type of thing.
But don't you think that's why people might be scared by it too? Is because it could be really good or really bad.
I think so. Yes.
And if it's really bad, it'll be really, really, really bad.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And also
very
the
interesting.
pressure's on because so many. I mean, almost every instance, the casting that's been made in Middle Earth has been perfect. Mm-hmm. It's been perfect. We've loved almost every character. I mean, I can't think of one where I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, everyone has been cast really, really well. And so that pressure just builds. I mean, even in The Hobbit, I thought it was cast pretty well.
Yeah. Another thing with Megan Fox, though, being in this is that we're in a fantasy world where you can do a lot of things. Maybe she doesn't, look, sound, or act. She's a
Maybe she's an
completely
orc.
Creature. Wow. She's an orc. Could you imagine? Oh, boy. Don't even get me started. But no, she could play a different style of creature, something very different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So
I thought it was cool. I don't know so if I had to be forced to, I'm gonna give her a chance.
I'm giving her a chance.
I'm giving her a chance. Yeah, I cast her.
Yep.
But then the whole conversation of known versus unknown actors. So one of the things that we loved about Lord of the Rings is, like, we know those people as, you think of Viggo Mortensen, you think Aragorn. You think of Elijah Wood, even though he was a child actor before and had other roles that we recognize, you think Frodo. Don Monahan, Billy Boyd, Ian McKellen, who had a long historic career before. You think of him as Gandalf. So the role and the actor go hand in hand. So my question to you is, and I've come out and said, dude, I would love Adam Driver to have a role. Mm-hmm. But then I thought about it more, and I'm like, would I be thinking the whole time, that's Adam Driver, that's Kylo Ren in Middle Earth? You know what I mean? I love the idea of actors being discovered through that role.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love the idea of us going back to Middle Earth and discovering someone brand new that we didn't know about before, or we knew about but in a minor way.
Right.
And that this becomes part of their identity. When we think of this actor, we associate them to this role because they nailed it. And because we didn't know of them before. They didn't associate with anything else. So
I'll tell you right now, if they do a young Aragorn, then it's going to be, it would be a role that would, that would be huge.
Yeah,
for
it would.
whether it's a superstar, already, or someone relatively unknown, or just getting into the business or what have you, or getting into the trade, whatever you call it, I think it'd be huge for that person because of just the book series itself, the movies, they're huge. Yeah, they're huge. So,
yeah,
interesting.
Wow, it's exciting. Okay, so all this leads up to an article we found on it's on Metro News, and it's kind of cool. It's sort of just throwing out top 5 different actors who could play a young Aragorn. And I thought there are a lot of these lists going on, and some of them are like 10 and 15 different actors. And I thought this was one of the most diverse ones I've seen. So we're going to go ahead and kind of go through this top 5. So, assuming that young Aragorn is cast, they put together a few actors here. Tom Bateman is the first one. He has been in Vanity Fair, Murder on the Orient Express, Jekyll and Hyde. I hadn't seen him before, but I'm looking at this dude. Are you looking at him right now?
Yeah. Yep.
I think of this list of 5, he would have my vote.
Really? Yeah.
The dude, I guess I don't know what he's like as an actor, but I'm thinking, like, literally, the way he looks, this guy could be cast.
Sure.
And he would be flawless.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same, like, cheekbones and facial structure as Viggo.
Oh, yeah. He's got it. Yeah.
Next one is Ben Barnes, who, if you watch Westworld or if you are a Narnia fan, he was Prince Caspian. Just saying that they think he could, he's got charisma. He's British. And could pull it off.
Yeah, actually, he's got a a solid look to him as well there too. Yeah.
He's a good actor. He's a really good actor.
Okay.
I've liked him in almost everything I've seen him in.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we need, right? I mean, we were just talking to Shane about that and how it was recast.
Yeah,
because of
Yeah, and that person's actually on this list, which is funny. Cillian Murphy, you know him from Peaky Blinders, and also he was the Scarecrow in the Dark Knight films, and he was also in what was that one? The World War II film that was out. I can't remember. Anyway, he'd be awesome too. Great actor, got the look. Kit Harington. Now you're a Game of Thrones guy. How would you feel about that? It's a no-go for me.
Yeah, it's a no-go for me too.
He's too identifiable as.
Every time he speaks, I would just hear Lord Snow.
Sure,
that's what I would hear. I don't. And that's nothing. He's been in other things. He's a great actor.
But that's his. You'd be thinking of that the whole time.
I think just because it's too close to like you're wearing similar garb.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They're very similar. I mean, honestly, Jon Snow and Aragorn are kind of
similar characters.
Right. So
and that's probably why he made this list.
Probably.
But the next one is Travis Fimmel. I've never seen this guy before, but he's on the.
I've seen him in Vikings. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
and he was
Intense.
in Warcraft, the Warcraft movie. Mm-hmm. He's got a real fierce look, dude. The icy blue eyes. I mean, he could totally be a young Aragorn. The next guy is Tom Paine. This dude says he's growing his hair out intentionally in the hopes of being cast as Aragorn.
Really?
He's the one that kind of drove this article for them to look at it. As mentioned earlier, he's already hinted that he's giving it a shot. He's not cutting his hair until the role is cast.
Wow. So I mean, he's banking on there being an Aragorn.
So does he know something?
That's great.
Is there something out there in the industry where he's? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. He could pull it off though. Dude's on. I think he's on Walking Dead. He's a character on Walking Dead. And then the end of the list is Stuart Townsend. And this was the dude who was originally cast as Aragorn.
Right.
So I don't really understand this one. I think it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
He was the guy who was cast. He was dropped a day before filming started, and they called Viggo on a prayer, and Viggo answered. But he's previously said he has no good feelings for anyone who was involved in the Lord of the Rings films, and obviously that would be. From his end, that'd be kind of hard to deal with. So.
I don't know. Yeah.
So anyway, let us know who you think. You guys have submitted people before, and we've talked about if you've got another dream casting that you could put out there. Who would you cast as who?
Yeah,
it's fun to think about, especially since there's nothing really set in stone right now.
Right.
Tolkien biopic that's coming out May 10th. We're looking forward to that. We're gonna go watch it together. Maybe have some kind of meetup afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll pick a theater and we'll let you guys know soon.
Right.
So if you're in the area, you can come out and hang out with us, watch the movie with us. And if you want to do something like that in your area, that'd be really, really cool. Take pictures, take videos, and we could
go live on Facebook.
Yeah. In other corners of Middle Earth, we want to congratulate Viggo Mortensen on his Oscar nomination and for the film he was in, Green Book, winning Best Picture.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I actually stayed up. I haven't stayed up for the entire length of the Oscars in a long time. Yeah. I stayed up until the very end because I wanted to see, how he did and how the film did. And I was like, okay, this is the last thing that he could possibly win. He didn't win for the best acting.
Right.
And I was like, let's see if Green Book wins. So I'm like, they're not going to win. Mm-hmm. And they, Julia Roberts pulls out that card. Green Book.
Yep.
I was like, holy crap.
Right.
And then they get up on stage, and of course, Viggo, he's all the way off to the side.
Right.
Not in the middle, not up by the mic. And I'm like, man, I just really wish, we all know how great he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's given credit in kind of smaller circles who appreciate what he does. I'm like, I will. And he doesn't even crave it. I know he doesn't want it, but I want it for the sake of how much we all love him, for him to get that attention and that credit that he deserves on a big stage when the whole world's watching. And Peter Farrelly delivered. Yeah. And these are the brothers, by the way, who made Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. So they're Oscar winners now. Should have won for Dumb and Dumber because it's a classic. Right. But he, in that moment, said, this doesn't happen, paraphrasing, this doesn't happen. This film doesn't get made without Viggo. And it was amazing. It was huge for him to call him out like that and just giving him credit for his artistry and who he is as an actor. So it was cool to see our king kind of honored.
Yeah, it
honored
was
that way on a big stage. So
right.
We got a few polls to go over real quick, and then I'll stop talking. You can hear Ezra's beautiful voice lead us into the book here.
That, yeah.
So we asked, did Faramir really hear the Horn of Gondor and see his brother's boat pass by en route to the sea? This was a couple chapters ago, but we wanted to know if you thought it was a vision or he really actually saw it. Overwhelmingly, 82% said, yep. Heard the horn.
Yep.
Saw the boat.
It's real.
18% said, nah, delusional. He was having a vision. 254 of you voted, so overwhelmingly, yes. And we talked about that, the possibilities of both. That was really cool to see.
They're one and the same, yeah.
Yeah, cool to see your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
We also wanted to ask, after deciphering some of these Lord of the Rings on Prime clues, when are you thinking the show will take place? Right down the middle, folks. 57% of you said Second Age. 43% said Third Age. 127 of you voted. So, I mean, it's anyone's ball game. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. We also had the Mead poll out there, and that was split right down the middle, and the poll's over between the two names. Don't forget the sipping and Bjorn's Bees batch. So I don't know what to do.
Did somebody do that? I mean, someone who was casting the last vote was just like, here's what I'm going to do. I would love to know who it was that cast that last vote.
The last vote, because we've never had that happen before, guys. So I don't know what to tell you, Travis. When you're brewing that batch, maybe you got to put both names on the label. I don't know. So also want to let you know that promo is still going on. If you want your Up Talkin' Tolkien official coaster, maybe you could put your Unexpected Candle right on the coaster.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And enjoy both at the same time. Go to weirdleatherandmead.com and type in use the promo code UPWYRD, UPWYRD, and you still get that. That's $10 and free shipping, I think, for the coaster, which is pretty cool. He actually sent us a couple. I got to show you. Really? I didn't show you yet. He sent us a couple, and they're beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, so thank you for that, Travis, and the T-shirt.
Travis, thanks for the T-shirt, man.
Spoiling us, man. It's solid. It's beautiful. And we're really, really honored by that. And he actually got credit from Weta for the armor build he did for Jack, the Theoden armor build.
Right.
Weta put it out there and said, what an amazing creation. So,
it's awesome.
Travis, we're pulling for you, man. We hope you get that job on the show. Keep at it. And guys, if you want to jump on and tag him on that page, he'd appreciate that. And
absolutely.
It's well-deserved. Fine craftsmanship.
Yep.
What else here? The Billy Boyd World Tour.
Still going on, yeah.
Still going on. Tara had him on some beacons, lighting some beacons there out in Jersey. So look for more pictures. Billy retweeted that one, of course.
Gosh.
So keep your eye out for Billy.
I think he was anxious. He saw that beacon and he thought, wow.
Gotta get up there.
How do I get up there?
Wizard's urging me.
You think he does? You think that happens? He's walking around. He just sees something like that. He's just like, there's an urge that just comes over him.
He is so tookish.
Well, I'm just saying.
We saw it. He had an urge. He's like, I'm going to sign an extra one. Send it home with him.
And he just says, I'm just saying, like, you're walking through a city, right? and there's this big, I don't know, this pyre beacon thing or whatever. And we're on vacation over in Europe. And next thing you know, there's Billy Boyd, like, climbing up this thing. And you're just like, everyone would think that's funny because everyone's seen Lord of the Rings and we get it, okay?
Yeah.
So
I do. I do think he does that.
Yeah.
All right, man. Into the reread, my friend.
All right. Into the reread here. So, let's see. This week we're covering Journey to the Crossroads.
Short chapter.
Yeah, very short chapter. We are honestly, I kid you not, this will be the shortest reread we've ever done.
Yeah.
Simply,
can we just say it? Nothing really happens.
I wanted to say it, but I wasn't sure.
I'll say it for you.
This is probably someone's favorite chapter. Maybe that should be the poll. Is this your favorite chapter? Yeah.
Does anything happen in this chapter?
Nah, and that's the bonus poll right there. So, I mean, just get ready for it, folks. It's still great writing.
It is,
and it is beautiful, and it's the ultimate setup.
Yes.
So
it really is, and in the silence we have to go through. I think I have written in the margins at some point that usually something really heavy happened, and then Tolkien writes, and then all was silent.
Right.
And then there was silence.
Right.
Whereas here we're headed into something pretty massive, and we're going through the silence first. And it's almost like this eerie, edge of a storm. We start to hear this rumbling thunder where we're not sure if it is drum beats or if it is thunder itself. You can feel it, you can hear it, you can sense it. And so it is. It's one of those necessary chapters where you have to build the tension.
Yeah.
And build the uncertainty. We were just in a pretty safe place. We were in a secret hideout.
Yeah, we were.
With some rangers, and it was very unexpected. The brother of someone who tried to take the ring now just set us free.
Right.
Right. And protected us.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of good. And so we need to get scared again. Tolkien's got to take us up and down the roller coaster.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of foreshadowing for this chapter. I mean, you've got like the reference that we're going to get just in where they're headed, where the hobbits are headed. Faramir, kind of talks to them and says that to be wary. Smeagol is guiding them, taking them down his path. He keeps warning Frodo and Sam clear up to the very end to not trust, Gollum or Smeagol. So anyways, and then just to recap real quickly here, we were in the Forbidden Pool, and you're not supposed to be there because it's forbidden. Frodo ends up sparing, Gollum, takes him in, he kind of gives in to Faramir's demands. They interrogate Gollum, who initially refuses to cooperate, and it's Frodo who has to kind of persuade him, build that trust back up again with him, so that way they can carry on. Faramir asks whether Gollum has ever been in this area before, and he claims that he has not been. He doesn't believe him, and ultimately accepts the truthfulness of the creature's statement. And I think it's more just has to do with Frodo being who Frodo is, and kind of helping Gollum. He kind of sticks up for Gollum and kind of helps him, through this difficult time, because he's been captured by men, and that's not fun.
Yeah,
that's not good.
Not my experience.
When was the last time you were captured by a bunch
men?
of rangers, a bunch of men?
You mean this week?
This way? Oh yeah. Don't answer that question. I've gone on many rescue missions where I've found land at a forbidden pool.
Odorin.
Goodness.
Sorry.
So, and again, as I said, Faramir privately warns Frodo to be wary of Gollum. He just has this vibe that's just not good, and doesn't quite know what to do. And I just, earlier too, I don't know if it's in this chapter at some point where Sam hears Frodo referencing Gandalf.
Yeah.
And it makes me just, he's really thinking on his friendship, his relationship, the wisdom that was shared by Gandalf.
Yeah.
And I think that's what leaders do. They think back to their great counselors and what did they say, what would they do? And then, you're also in this moment, and it's you, and it's your time. So fine to reflect and think, but then he does a great job, and Faramir respects him for the way he behaves and acts and his decision making, but at the same time is also trying to warn him. So I don't know. I just feel like Frodo's this person who's always taking in information from Gandalf, Smeagol, Faramir, Aragorn earlier on, and he has these big decisions to make.
Yeah, he does.
All on his own.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know. I always find that impressive. So. Just in summary, so we can we're gonna summarize the whole thing, and then we'll do major takeaways here. Faramir bids farewell to Frodo and Sam as the hobbits continue their journey to Mordor. And again, he's kind of talking to them about, just the path they're taking, right? First remember he packs their packs with some pretty decent food, and they're not going to want for any water for a while until they get to Imlad Morgul, right? Yeah. So that's the water that's flowing out of there. That's not clean, right?
Yeah.
So the Valley of the Living Death
gives them those the staves,
right,
to have water in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a cool gift.
Kind of cool, yeah. So that's all good and well. There's a huge, and Lane's going to talk a little bit about this as we get into this chapter. A huge silence that kind of takes over. Like there's just really, as the further they go, it's very quiet and silent, and then at the end, we have this like abrupt, loud sound that just we can't tell if it's just a buzzing in our ears or if it's actually happening. You know, it's kind of bizarre, but something's coming there. So as the journey continues, Gollum reports that the area is dangerous, full of watching eyes. Right? And we kind of know that the Morgul Vale, this place where home of the Wraiths, you know, the Nine, right? You know,
Ring Wraiths
is it's a scary place, man.
Yeah,
This is
poison land.
Yeah, and that's where they're going through.
Right into
I
the
just
heart.
keep kind of I can't get over that.
Faramir couldn't either.
No, that's what I think.
Part of that conversation that is like, you know where you're going, right?
He actually explicitly like told him that in the last chapter. So
like you couldn't be going to a Mor unless you're going to the heart of Mordor,
which you are,
which we are.
So, yeah. Which is wild, by the way. He didn't actually tell Faramir what he was. Did he tell him exactly what he was doing? Eventually Sam blurts out the ring, but he doesn't really know. No. He just knows he's on this dire kind of task. Yeah. So, you know. But yeah, it's just kind of wild. So, you know. I don't know.
Goldberry just came in and we're not sure if she's going into labor.
Yeah,
she's like going outside.
Like, legitimately, I think.
She might be driving herself to the hospital.
Is she driving herself?
Are we at a crossroads ourselves?
Wow.
Sir, are you okay? I don't know.
Oh. How's it been? How are you feeling?
You want to jump into the reread?
Oh, okay.
She just said hello.
Hello. Well,
Goldberry calling from the river.
Guys, this is the hour that we're in here though. Like every movement we hear in this house is it time.
Do you hear it?
Is the backpack, by the way?
There's a silence, bro.
Actually, that's as quiet as it's been in our headsets in a while.
A long, long time.
That's really crazy.
Bags packed, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, solid.
Just like the Hobbits.
Okay, good. All right.
It's good to make connections, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So anyways, back to the summary here. One night, Frodo and Sam awake to find Gollum gone. Sam expresses relief. He's kind of like, it's the one thing that he says he wishes they would lose along the way, right?
Yeah.
He's really just, I think, out getting food and things, right?
Yeah, kind of do his own hunting or whatever.
Yeah, they kind of switch the time of day that they travel, whether it's daylight or dark,
and it's harder to tell what time of day it is.
Right.
We start to there's this darkness from Mordor that's leaking over, and it's hard to discern what time it is. It's very disorienting, and they just have no idea when it is.
Right. So the chapter kind of starts off, what does it say, on March 8th, and then I think we get all the way through March 10th, so it's a couple of days. Yeah. And it's just a lot of journeying. And at the very end, there's this urgent awakening by Gollum, who is trying to get them up quickly. He directs them eastward up a slope to the southwest road, which leads to the place he calls the Crossroads. Gollum asserts that this is the only way to go. Yeah. So, and then as they get up there, we'll get into the statue and the new golden crown that has grown in around the old king.
Gives Frodo some hope, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So, all right, my friend. I mean, really,
that was a chapter, guys.
That was.
Right.
We could honestly almost
next week.
Stop there, and that's all she wrote.
We're just teasing.
Just teasing. Yeah.
But yeah.
So I just want to do some major takeaways.
Let's do it,
here.
Man. I'm all about it.
I kind of just want to pull.
Another interesting thing, as you brought it up, you said March 8th to March 10th.
Yeah.
The timeline. So it's very interesting to think about what's going on right now with our other part of the fellowship, right? And because we're almost at the end of book 4, right? We would think, okay, it's paralleling the end of book 3, but it's not.
Yeah.
We are actually further ahead than when we left them in book 3.
Wow. Okay.
I want to say, I looked it up earlier, and you history buffs, correct us if we're wrong, but this is kind of
fill us in.
Yeah, fill us in, Phil. This is leading up to the time of the conflict in at Minas Tirith, in the Pelennor Fields. And I think around this time is when the Rohirrim are mustered. Yeah. Aragorn is starting to he's entering Dunharrow and going to take the Pass of the Dead to summon the army. So it's a bit further on than when we left them. Gandalf is already in Minas Tirith. Right. So the chess pieces have moved a little more than than when this is. Cause I believe when they're taking the stairs and entering Shelob's lair, that coincides with the Battle of Pelennor Fields.
Wow.
So it is a little bit. We haven't gotten there yet in our other storyline.
Right.
Yeah,
storyline. Yeah.
But it is kind of weird. It's like that's the other cool thing about the way he tells his story is it's almost kind of outside of time, man. It's not bound by. It doesn't have to parallel exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we talked about that before. How it's very much like real life in that they wouldn't know what's going on.
Right.
with the other members of the Fellowship. As they wouldn't know what's going on with them. So
yeah, yep, 100%.
That's the worst sentence I've ever spoken.
I made a lot of sense to me.
They and them and those. Great job, Lane.
I did a lesson on that actually not too long ago.
Pronouns, I hate them.
Jiminy Christmas.
Tolkien never used them.
Right. So this first, just to start the chapter off, I really think that the most important thing here is just that Frodo calls Faramir a gracious host, and says that Elrond, half Elven, said that he should find friendship upon
tying it back
his
to
way.
Rivendell.
Yeah, and so I thought that was the biggest takeaway, right? Is that to start this off, he's actually created this friendship, and he's gained a lot of respect, and there's mutual respect between the two, and
almost kind of this prophecy, I guess, that
foresight,
that Elrond had, and that it would be secret and unlooked for, and that's absolutely what this was. It was a surprise. This friendship.
Isn't that it's unbelievable.
It really is. Another cool point from this that I loved is just that whole building of the oddity of the silence. That Faramir had said, my scouts have been out and they've come back and a strange thing is happening. There's silence all over the land, and it's kind of weird that we haven't heard or seen anything, and that there's some evil. Actually, you know what? That's ahead. I think I just.
No, you're right. No, actually, that's right where I'm at. I see what you're saying. So no noise of the falls could be heard. Well, actually, so I'm looking at just based on what you said. As soon as you were talking about no sound, I saw no noise of the falls could be heard for a long southward slope. Now
they've journeyed out of the falls.
They had journeyed, but it's just the idea that sound that was around them. Starts to recede. It's gone. Yeah,
building that theme already.
Yeah,
of silence.
Right, and you're right. So we'll keep seeing that through over and over. I mean, actually, they're even telling each other to keep silent.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So that's one of the lines here for when Frodo's speaking to Sam and Gollum. So
yeah, true. That's crazy, dude.
It's crazy. The more you look for it, you'll see it.
Yeah.
The last thing here with Faramir, though, just this the parting of their ways. If you take my counsel, you will not turn eastward yet. Go straight on, for thus you will have the cover of the woodland for many miles. Yeah. On your west is an edge where the land falls into the great vales. Sometimes suddenly in sheer, sometimes in long hillsides. Keep near to the edge and the skirts of the forest. In the beginning of your journey, you may walk under daylight, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So what does that even mean, right?
Doesn't even know.
What does that mean? The land dreams in a false peace, and for a while all evil is withdrawn. Fare you well while you may. So, it's interesting because later on Gollum will tell them that they need to hide during the day and sleep.
And that there's eyes watching all over. Yeah.
And the cover of darkness actually seems to become their friend.
Sure.
Which is crazy to think about. That wasn't always the case.
Yeah, it is.
And so there's a shift.
Yeah. I love it. They're parting too. We see, that Faramir kisses their foreheads. I think back to in the films when Boromir dies, how Aragorn kisses his forehead.
Right.
As kind of a parting.
Mm-hmm.
And so we see that here too, and that's in their way. In the manner of his people, it says. Oh man, you said something there, and it got my mind going.
Just about
just how this chapter the land starts to change too.
Oh yeah,
and we start to see these kind of in the darkness. Eventually, the hobbits are having trouble again, and it's Gollum who's weaving through, and they're going through bramble, and they're all these slopes they're climbing up, and you can because it's funny how Faramir lays it out here and lets them know this is what you're going to encounter, and these sheer edges really come into play in this chapter, and we just get the sense that the land is becoming more dangerous. We have this unexpected relief through, the Garden of Gondor in Ithilien, and now it's kind of like back to reality. That preview we had back at the Black Gate is more and more going to be our norm as we travel, into the heart of Mordor. So crazy.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So to move us on here a little further, they begin their travels. I mean, to start, Gollum is like happy that the men are gone. He's like,
right. Yeah.
But Frodo scolds him. Right. The same men who showed you mercy and gave you life.
Yeah.
I mean, their law was to kill you. They broke their own law, really, at my request and under my, care. Since I was, taking you into my care. Now, on down here just a ways. So twice that day they'd rested, took a little nap. They took some food provided by Faramir, dried fruit, salted meat, enough for many days, and bread enough to last while it was still fresh. Yeah. Gollum ate nothing. Nothing. So he's going to get hungry later on. He's going to go do his own thing. So there's something there. The sun rose and passed overhead unseen, then began to sink, and the light through the trees to the west grew golden. And always they walked in cool green shadow, and all about them was silence. The birds seemed all to have flown away or to have fallen dumb.
Yeah.
So there it is again. Now let's just keep going. So within 3 lines here. Darkness came early to the silent woods, and before the fall of night they halted weary, for they had walked 7 leagues or more from Heneth Anon. How do you say that? Heneth Anun. Frodo lay and slept away the night on the deep mold beneath the ancient tree. Yeah. Right, and so Sam is more uneasy, and actually I think it was. This is where it is.
Gollum slips off.
Yeah, and he woke many times, but there's never a sign of Gollum. Oh no, I thought there was a part where there's going to come a part where he hears him talking about Gandalf. So don't even miss that.
Oh, in his sleep. That's right.
Yeah, when we get there.
Yep.
So anyways, it's just passing of time, really, and the changing of the land, the changing of the environment, the tension building.
The air starts to grow heavier.
Yeah.
What do they say? It began to be stifling under the trees. It felt as if thunder was brewing, so we get this idea that a storm is coming. Mm-hmm. Gollum was sniffing. He was not forgetting the sniffing.
Right,
Nicole,
no.
Or Emma, not at all. And every few steps it seems like, and muttering to himself and urging them to move quicker. It's like Gollum senses something, which also makes them kind of wary. At one point we get to this whole idea that Sam suspects him of some treachery.
Yeah.
Like when he does disappear for a while, he's like, is he, even when he does come back, is he going to be leading us into a trap?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If there are prying eyes here.
And the crazy thing is, he's like, when we need him most, he's gone.
Right.
If he was going to, ever show his, his value or his, whatever.
And it's Frodo. Keep. Yeah. And it's Frodo who says, "Don't you forget the marshes. Remember the marshes."
Yeah. True.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's a good point, though.
They balance each other well, Frodo and Sam. They have this. I mean, they're the best team, dude.
Yeah, they are.
They really are.
Yep. There's this bit too where, as the light's fading fast, right? Yeah. There's this part where like light kind of shines in on. I don't know if it was Frodo or Sam. Let's see.
Oh yeah, on Sam's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is that? I felt like that was coming up here next, but maybe it's a little further on.
Yeah, it is. No, you're right. Down at the bottom there.
We must. Yeah.
Well, at the bottom of my. There they sat under an old gnarled oak, twisting branches. On its further side, the woods gathered again. No. Yeah, right? To the right, the mountains of Gondor glowed, remote in the west, under a fire-flecked sky. To the left lay darkness, the towering walls of Mordor. No, that's not what you're talking about, is it?
Not worth
jeez, guys.
No, it's okay though. What?
Sorry,
I felt like that was kind of significant. Okay, we'll move on. It'll come up here in a sec.
It is. I remember thinking it was significant as well.
I thought it was, and I wanted to discuss it with you, but we'll find it. Don't let me miss that either. So 2 things,
the heck
guys.
Was that?
At this point, you're keeping track of 2 things: Frodo and Gandalf in the dream, and you're keeping track of when we can find Sam, the light on Sam's face.
We're a mess, man.
I literally had a note here that I thought it was literally coming up right after that part. So, yeah. All right, so let's see. The question, what shall we do? I think it's a great question. What shall Lane and I do right now?
I don't go to bed.
Probably.
No.
We have walked long and far. Shall we look for some place in the woods behind where we can lay and hide? Gollum tells them, no good hiding in the dark. It is in day that hobbits must hide now. Yes, in day. And so, remember earlier, Faramir had said, that, for a while you could travel in daylight.
Yeah.
And actually what's interesting is that, so Faramir gives them the advice to go, to keep to the edge and keep to the edge of the woods and that cover.
Use that for cover, yeah.
Yeah, but Gollum disagrees. He says that we should be heading south, faster, quick. It's almost like he was giving them better advice than Faramir, in a sense. And they're fine. I mean, it's all going to work out, but, I think it's cool.
Well, and it's interesting. I mean, is that show that Gollum is more familiar
with the area?
That part. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, also, I just think it's interesting too how much he knows. So so Faramir's saying like for in daytime you're good, and then Gollum now saying nope, no more. Yeah. Now we have to travel by night. They're just kind of what's the word? Contrast each other. I guess a little bit. So,
and we also know too that Gollum has this plan, right? From that monologue he had or conversation with himself he had over top of Frodo back at the Black Gate, and so he has some invested interest in getting them to a certain point. Absolutely. We don't know where that point is yet. I mean, we do because we read it, but our hobbits don't. And so then they don't realize that he's going to do everything to keep them out of any other danger, but he's got to get them to this point so that the ring can be kind of, unoccupied and he can take it. And if it falls into the hands of the enemy, that's a loss for Gollum. Yeah. So.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yeah. Yeah. He'll be sore about that. So there's this, I feel like I need to read a little bit of this huge paragraph here. So after midnight, it's just a little after midnight, Gollum wakes him up, right? And there's this pale, the pale light is back in his eyes, right? And he's ready he's like, are we well rested? Have we had beautiful sleep? He said, let's go. We aren't, and we haven't, growled Sam, but we'll go if we must. Yeah. So he dropped it once and he takes off. So as soon as they were down, they
were sleeping up in that tree, right?
Yeah, that's right. They were sleeping in the tree.
Gollum didn't want them sleeping on the ground. It wasn't safe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. They don't like being up in trees, do they? But I think Sam says that in this situation, doesn't he say he was okay with it? It's kind of it took me back to Lorien too, where they were up in the trees and like they didn't feel comfortable there.
Yeah.
And so they made a nice little spot for him. Okay, so as soon as they were down, they went on again with Gollum leading eastward up the dark, sloping land. They could see little, for the night was now so deep that they were hardly aware of the stems of the trees before them, stumbling against them. The ground became more broken, and walking was more difficult, but Gollum seemed in no way troubled. Yeah. This is what you had referenced earlier.
Right.
He led them through thickets, waste of brambles, sometimes round the lip of the deep cleft or dark pit, sometimes down into a black, bush-shrouded hollow and out again. But if ever they went a little downward, always the further slope was longer and steeper. Yeah. They were climbing steadily. Yeah. So that's interesting.
Yeah, just the land changing again, just up they go.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of imagery in here. The dark, dense
it's beautiful
shadow.
To read.
Yeah.
But it's essentially just them.
The darker night.
Right.
He's just showing, really showing off some of his writing skills here.
Yeah.
It's just really good. Talking about the dark pits. There's just
scars of recent fires.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. So, and they're worried about day coming soon, which is so ironic, right? And they have to take cover.
Yeah, but no day came.
Right.
Only a dead brown twilight in the east. There was a dull red glare under the lowering cloud. It was not the red of dawn. Across the tumbled lands between the mountains of the Ethel Dwath frowned at them, black and shapeless below, where night lay thick and did not pass away, above with jagged tops and edges, outlined hard and menacing against the fiery glow. Away to their right, A great shoulder of the mountain stood out dark and black amid the shadows, thrusting westward. Wow. It's just like you feel like you're going into a monster's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like these big, sharp teeth, that are the mountains, and the changing of the sky, and the frowning of the FL Duath, the mountain range. Just like, wow, you're going into the belly of a beast here. It's amazing. It's just,
that's a good actually way to into the belly of a beast. Yeah, it's definitely.
And it's just right there, and it's in your face, and wow.
Yeah.
And you got to be thinking, what are these hobbits? How are they coping with this? I mean, this is the exact opposite of where they come from, their comfort, and it even leads to Sam having a dream about.
That's how he's coping.
Yeah,
my friend.
He's going back to the Shire in his mind.
He's thinking back in his mind with where's his pipe? It's always in his in his bag, right?
And it's funny how when he kind of wakes, he's not really sure if he's still in his dream or not. He has that weird. Yeah. He's like, no, I was dreaming. My pipe, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So he thinks he sleeps far too long because when he wakes up, it looks like he slept all day long. But really, as you had said earlier, it's just getting darker and darker. So the day is not getting lighter, right?
Yeah.
And Sam's like, "What is up? What's going on here? Is there a storm coming? What's happening?" And so ominous. It's all that. I mean, with that too, anytime we teach kids in English class to look for the changes in weather and light and things like that, right? And they're on the, they're right on the edge of Mordor. Yep. They're ready to go, so.
Yep. Is this where we start to hear the thunder kind of sound too? What's that? This is Sam talking. Thunder or drums? Or what? What is it? I don't know, said Frodo. It's been going on for a good while now. Sometimes the ground seems to tremble. Sometimes it seems to be the heavy air throbbing in your ears. And this is where Gollum's kind of disappeared.
Yeah, right? Yeah. He's taking. Sam assumes he's hunting, right?
Yeah, and Sam says, like, that's fine. I can't stand him. In fact, I've never taken anything on a journey, this is what you said earlier, that I'd have been less sorry to lose on the way. But it would be just like him after coming all these miles to go and get lost now, just when we shall need him most. That is, if he's ever going to be of any use, which I doubt. And this Frodo, where he says, you forget the marshes. I hope nothing has happened to him. And I hope he's up to no tricks, says Sam. So again, balancing each other out here, Frodo is always thinking of the Smeagol. Sam is always thinking of the Gollum. And you got to think of both because they're both there.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
And this is where Frodo kind of has this moment of doom where he's like, I'm afraid this journey is coming to an end. And he says it. and it's Sam again, who gives him hope. He says, maybe, but where there's life, there's hope, as my old gaffer used to say, and need of victuals, as he most ways used to add.
Yeah.
You have a bite, Mr. Frodo, and then a bit of sleep.
Just taking care of him, man.
Yeah, it is the little things, isn't it? It's like, dude, you're so consumed with this bigger stuff. You got to eat. You got to sleep. Remember that stuff. That's what best friends do, isn't it? It's
yeah. There's a power in sleep, man. I mean, dude, I sometimes will tell friends, family members, even my students, when things are like super, I don't know, hard or what have you, or you're super serious about something, sleep on it.
Yeah.
Get some rest. Yep. Let you're super amped up here. Get some food in your stomach. I don't know.
It calms you. It helps with. I find that a lot of times situations, they're not as bad after a good sleep, or they're not as dramatic. I guess you get, if you're tired, you're less guarded. Your rational thinking kind of goes out the window, and after some sleep, I don't know. I mean, things always look better in the light of day, don't they?
Yeah.
So
if there were any day here to be found, Jamie,
look at you, man.
It's crazy. But yeah, so this is actually the part that I was trying to get to, which is where he starts to talk about. He thinks back to Gandalf, and I just think it's interesting. I just like that he's thinking this, and now that you brought up sort of the, where is Gandalf at this point in time? I'd like to go find out because it's just kind of interesting to me, right? I was surprised that you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just see exactly where he's at. He's. There's just other powers at work here,
Yes,
and I almost wonder
on both sides.
Yeah, what he was dreaming about. Why thinking back? Is it all the decision making? Is it all this stuff to do with Gollum and having pity? on
Yeah.
him. You know,
Yeah.
he and Sam going back and forth on this. You know, I don't know. It's just
Good question.
it's interesting that he thinks about him, and I anytime I hear Gandalf referenced, I kind of want to know more about it. So that's where I'm at. It's my headspace. But you know, as he wakes Frodo up, though, well, actually, it's Gollum who comes rushing back and says, "You know, we're out of time. Wake up. We must go at once. No time to lose."
Ezra, usually we're looking at a chapter, and I'm like, man, we got a long way to go.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
Oh, I know. We're literally almost done. It's insane.
It's crazy.
This chapter was short. I mean, there's no getting around it. And we're not. I don't even know how much more you. I'm sure you know listeners out there can pull a lot more out of it than.
For
than
once,
maybe
we're not overly digging deep, though. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff I have circled and underlined we could go into, but it's we don't always have to do that. It doesn't always have to be.
And like I don't know. Really, what I took away from this chapter was the imagery.
Yes.
Okay. 100%. So like the red glare over Mordor died away.
Yeah.
Okay. That line in and of itself, you want to just hone in on something there. So this red glare over Mordor died away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of meaning in that one line. Twilight deepened as the great vapors rose in the east and crawled above them. It's just there's literally almost every line has some form of it's playing on your their sense of sight, their hearing. This actually takes me back to how silent it was around Crick Hollow, and how much they could hear there in this really tense moment, when I don't know, it seems like something that I don't know. I thought back to just moments where like you were super like nervous or scared or something really intense was happening, and it does seem that like, sound kind of goes away, and you're just like, or maybe it's so heightened that you're focused on the one thing that you're really you're listening for the snap of a twig, and everything else. Yeah, you're hyper focused on it. I don't know. Maybe that's part of it too. So,
yeah. Okay, so what's kind of going on with Gandalf at this time? So Sunday, March 9th, Gandalf reaches Minas Tirith, and at dusk, Frodo reaches the Morgul Road. So Gandalf is getting to Minas Tirith. Sunday, March 10th, which is the dawnless day.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
The dawnless day.
Faramir is rescued by Gandalf outside the gates of the city. Mm-hmm. And Frodo passes the crossroads and sees the Morgul host set forth. So it's kind of just after this.
Right.
So
right in there.
The 9th, he gets to Minas Tirith. So he's in closer proximity than he's been to him in a while.
Right. He's also in close proximity to Faramir, who he just left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all that connection there, I didn't even think about that.
That's crazy how close they were then,
Wow, even thinking about that too.
Think of...
but even just thinking about how Faramir was just recounting his old... his old understanding of who Gandalf was. Yeah. And now he's about to about to see hero mode.
Yeah, he is.
Gandalf the White, with that whole side of him that he didn't even know existed that Frodo taught him about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's really cool.
Oh man, stuff that just it gets lost. It gets lost, and that's why the books are the best.
They're the best, and that's why it takes a reread. It takes going through it again. So, which we're gonna have to when we come back to this chapter later on. We might say, "What?
Sure."
What?
On the reunion tour,
why did we gloss over all this stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to glossing. All right.
Flossing.
Yeah. So, here we go. So, where was it? Where is it? So, Gollum is telling them they're not in a decent place.
Yeah.
Time is running short. Yes, running fast. No time to lose. We must go. Wake up, master. Master, wake up. He clawed at Frodo, and Frodo startled out of the sleep. Sat up suddenly and seized him by the arm. Gollum tore himself loose and backed away. What's up with that, first of all?
Yeah.
He clawed at Frodo, and Frodo... So he just, did he just startle him? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess probably.
I don't know. Now I'm trying to read every single line.
Oh, yes. I love it.
But no. So yeah, there's something that's really... I don't know. Why isn't Gollum more forthcoming here? Why doesn't he? I feel like there's a lot he just doesn't tell us. Yeah. Faramir also...
He's getting closer to the completion of his plan.
Maybe, yeah, right.
I also wonder if that's too why... I know that he goes off and hunts to eat. And yeah, that's...
What debates
probably,
is he having?
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, am I reaching there too? Because he wouldn't have wanted to eat the food probably that the Rangers gave Sam and Frodo. But is he not eating because he's about to eat in a way.
Yeah,
his soul's about to feast.
Yeah, or you know how you're so obsessed with something.
Yeah,
you get so
sure.
I don't know that you don't eat.
Right.
You know,
food's not even on your mind.
It's on your mind. Yeah. So. So very stealthily, Gollum led them down the hillside, keeping under cover wherever it was possible and running almost bent to the ground across an open space. But the light was now so dim that even a keen-eyed beast of the wild could scarcely have seen the hobbits. Hooded in their gray cloaks, nor heard them. I just realized,
cool.
I think I know where the light comes in here in a second. What an idiot.
Down at the bottom.
Oh,
yeah, it's
my
down at the bottom. Yeah.
Gosh.
From the light that last illuminating light. Jeezy Lord.
Right at the end
we
of
were
the
looking
chapter.
for it at the beginning of
Right
the
at
chapter.
the end of the chapter, as
How can the smallest
some
chapter be so
reason-
I feel confused too, though.
yeah, but for some reason I thought it was in relation to something else, but now I just realized what it's connecting to.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so then they go on for about an hour this way, but they go on silently. Silent.
Yeah.
There's a stillness of the land,
Yep.
broken only now and then by this faint rumbling of thunder far away, right? Down from their hiding place they went, and they're turning south. They steered as straight a course as Gollum could find across the long, broken slope that leaned up towards the mountains. I think it's interesting, too, that Faramir actually had him go a different route, a different way, and he still knows how to guide them right back to where he wants them to go. Which is, I mean, it's just interesting to me. He's still the guide in this land that, even though he thought they should have, gone directly south.
Like, he kind of missed his true calling. He would have been great for, like, Middle-earth tours.
Yeah, he would have.
I think they need him in New Zealand.
God,
Can you imagine if there was a dude who, like, dressed up as Gollum and goes,
We'll show you around.
the way through these paths. Smeagol found it. Yes, he did.
It'd be wild.
there might be some money in that.
I could see you dressed up as...
I'm balding, so that works.
That'd be great. Yeah.
we
Let's
know about
relocate. Let's
we know
hang
about
out with Shane.
Can you imagine?
No, I can't. No,
We know about my teeth problems, so I could just stop brushing.
Right. That actually might help your teeth, though, according to...
Yeah, it probably would. The gums could grow back.
The gums will grow back. Oh, man. So, okay, presently, not far ahead, looming up like a black wall, they saw this
of trees.
belt of trees. Yeah.
Cool image, too.
Right. So, and this is a sign to Gollum that the crossroads, yes, the crossroads are coming up, right? So the first words he had spoken since they had left their hiding place, by the way. Mm-hmm. So he's super nervous and scared, and he's so bent over and trying to keep them away from these watching eyes.
Right.
Right. You wonder too. I mean, without Gollum, would they have been caught here? I always like to play the what if game sometimes.
That's a good question. It definitely would have taken them way longer.
Yeah, or they would have had to find maybe the cloaks would have protected them some.
Sure.
There would have been something else going on there as well, but
he really presses them on and takes them through, in a path that they would not have found as easily.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it would have been a more difficult way. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Crossroads. Yes. The first words that he had spoken in a while. Turning eastward now, he led them up the slope, and then suddenly there it was before them. The southward road, winding its way about the outer feet of the mountains, until presently it plunged into the great ring of trees. "This is the only way," whispered Gollum. "No paths beyond the road. No paths. We must go to the crossroads, but make haste. Be silent." So I feel like they're kind of out, like they're a little bit exposed now. This is so we got to be hasty now and get there while we have a chance. So at length they reached the trees and found that they stood in this great roofless ring. It was interesting about these trees. It was talking about how the lightning had struck them and they were ancient. Yeah. But the tops of them had been, kind of struck, torn, whatever maybe.
And then compared them to spaces between their immense bowls were like the great dark arches of some ruined hall. Mm-hmm. So you're almost kind of thinking back to like Moria, these big, these pillars and this big.
Sure.
It's kind of an interesting like mixture of. It's kind of unintentionally like a man-made area. It's like nature that looks more like a structure. It's just really, really cool to think about. This would be a really cool place to visit, honestly. I mean, I know that we're kind of glossing through this chapter, but I think this last like page is some of the most interesting. It's probably one of the most interesting places we've been in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly thought I remember us spending more time here. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading this, and this last time, and I was like, "Where's this? Where's the statue? Where's the king?"
I was.
I know. We're gonna get there.
It's crazy to think that the ancient, like the boundaries for Gondor, went as far, but we've been told this whole time that they've fallen under shadow.
Yeah.
And
right.
so
they were, left under sleepy care, and
right.
the darkness came back.
These are lands that if they could, they'd try to reclaim, but it sounds like Gondor has diminished, and they just can't govern, or they can't patrol as far, and
speaking of which, I think we've kind of let our dreams diminish as.
Wow, have we?
And I think we need to bring that back. I think we need to start a Lord of the Rings podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what they say? It's all in a name.
It's all in a name. You're darn right it is.
And we got to get the name right. And I don't know if you have any ideas.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if you care anymore.
Yeah. I care a lot podcast, right? Okay.
The Care Bears.
The Care Bears United podcast.
Absolutely.
Wow. The Needed Vittles podcast.
I feel like I need some vittles right now.
God, I'm
peckish. I'm thirsty. My lips are dry.
Oh,
I feel like I'm going through Mordor.
Yeah.
How about the Sniffing and Muttering podcast?
Yeah, Sniffing and Muttering
That's
podcast.
Great. That Amanda Internet just cut out.
Well, what's cool is
it's gone.
Post-production, we can add her in. Go ahead and sing it for me. Yeah, so the Sniffing and Muttering podcast. I like that. Yeah. I don't know, Ez, what's another good podcasting name? The Lowering Cloud podcast. You're killing it. You're killing it.
Wow, that almost
right
went
on.
right back into it.
Yeah.
How about the Gondorian Graffiti podcast?
I like
some tag art. We could say,
yeah.
I don't know. Put a G rune on it.
I like that a lot.
Put a G rune on it. We're getting close, man.
GGP.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get there one of these days. But it's not this day, my friend.
Not this day.
It's not this day.
No.
Pretty cool king said that once.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What was his name? Aragorn?
Somebody.
Aragorn? Air Gordon?
I thought it was Brodo.
Brodo Swaggy.
Brodo the king.
Be Swaggy.
That reminded me of is you were telling me earlier the acronym for the Billy Boyd World Tour is just not appropriate.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize.
I really messed that hashtag up, guys.
Hilarious.
I apologize, but
that is so funny.
I played ignorance. I didn't know. Yeah.
No, honestly, I had no idea.
I know. I think you see butts or something. I don't know.
That's so weird. That's crazy. But it's also great. Okay, so
speaking of which,
suddenly caught by the level beam. So there's this
blinded by the light,
yeah,
rising up like a deuce in the middle of the night.
Guys, we've been podcasting for I don't know how many hours.
Long time.
So great.
I think the what's it called? The adrenaline is starting to wear off too from talking to Shane, and it's just I feel. Do you feel dead? Uppers are gonna be like, bro,
dude, what
bros,
happened?
We've never been more tired than at the end of this podcast.
Bros,
you gotta bring the energy up.
Like it's getting dangerous for me to drive on the road when I listen to you guys.
All right, stay awake. Stay awake.
Wayne just set up in his chair, like real serious.
Get some vittles. Get a Red Bull.
Right.
Gives you wings.
So, anyways, this last bit is kind of interesting, right?
I feel kind of faint, dude. Honestly, I feel like I could pass out right now.
You set up real too quickly there. Let me just take us home in this chapter.
Blinded by the light.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the years had nodded. Okay. So, blah, 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 right. So they saw it. Standing there for a moment, filled with dread, Frodo became aware that a light was shining. He saw it glowing on Sam's face beside him. Turning towards it, he saw, beyond an arc, the road to Osgiliath running almost as straight as a stretched ribbon down into the west.
You might even say as straight as an arrow.
You might say that. Inside reference joke. That's what she said. There, far away, beyond sad Gondor, now overwhelmed in shade. This is kind of a sad image, right? So the sun
really
was
giving us
sinking.
some foreshadowing of what's going to happen.
Yeah, what's going on.
When we get to
It's headed right there.
Right.
The shadow, the shade that's pushing over Gondor is literally happening right now, as you just referenced.
Yeah.
With where our rest of our party.
And we're starting to wonder, like, man, is Gandalf and Pippin? Are they okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are they all right? Because we know they're headed there.
It does make you think that, right?
Because we know they're going that direction. And what about our other friends? Are they ever going to make it? This storm is coming, and it's going right for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, the brief glow fell upon a huge sitting figure, still and solemn as the great stone kings of Argonath. The years had gnawed it, and violent hands had maimed it. Its head was gone, and in place, set in mockery, a round, rough-hewn stone, rudely painted by savage hands in the likeness of a grinning face with one large red eye in the midst of its forehead.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's just huge. I mean, like, I love that we have some images in the doc, and just, this is a massive statue with the old king.
In the films too.
Yeah. So, but what they notice is just off to the side and suddenly caught by the level beam, Frodo saw the old king's head. It was lying rolled away by the roadside. "Look, Sam," he cried, startled into speech. "Look, the king has got a crown again."
Yeah.
Okay.
A little foreshadowing there too, huh? What's our third book called? Return of the King. Tolkien hated that name, by the way.
Did he really?
He hated that name. He wanted it to be called The War of the Ring. And publishers said, we're going to call it Return of the King. He's like, why would you give it that title when it gives away the ending of the book?
Wow.
And they're like, we like it. We're going with it. And he was mad.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. War of the Ring is what he wanted to be
That's
called.
something I didn't know.
Well, you learn something new
Well, you
day.
learned something new.
Grandma Warm Tongue.
Yeah.
Thought you'd never hear him again.
He's back. All right, so
Don't mess with my phone.
So how long can we drag out the last paragraph here? The eyes were hollowed and the carven beard was broken. And it really, what is it had this, flowers had grown in. These small white stars had bound themselves around sort of this, the brow of the old king there. And so the crown had grown back in. And it, actually it goes back to Sam had said that life gives you hope, And
it's cool. The little, calling the flowers like small white stars. We think about the importance of stars to Gondor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The importance of stars to elves.
Right.
Interesting little tie back, and the ethereal, and the idea of fate.
Yeah.
That Faramir's introduced again too. That there is a great work of good going on here as well. There's power there. And it's Frodo who says, they cannot conquer forever.
Right.
And then suddenly the brief glimpse was gone. The sun dipped and vanished. And as if at the shuddering of a lamp, black night fell. Wow. And we get this idea that it's like the last sunlight they see.
It's crazy.
There was one little connection I had at the beginning, and I missed it.
Well, it's okay. We were talking about the ending of the
back.
chapter at the beginning of the chapter, so that's fine.
What a crossroads we find ourselves in. And it was this. It was all the way back in Henethanoon, and it was this idea. It's just a small little sentence.
Sure.
And it's when, oh my gosh, that's when that was? When Faramir was talking about the land is empty, nothing is on the road, no one's moving, and my scouts find it very strange. He said, if you are ready, let us go. The sun will soon rise above the shadow. And it was just a weird thing. I was like, what a strange thing that is. If you stop and think about it, that's really, really weird, because we think about the sun rising over the horizon. But if you're in that part of the world, and this darkness has been growing and Mordor has been building, and that's a normal thing, you wouldn't see the sun rise over the horizon. You'd see it rise over a shadow.
That is crazy.
Isn't
actually,
that crazy to think about? Like, hey, let's go watch a beautiful sunrise. Nope.
Right, no, because
it's got to pass through the shadow first.
Yeah.
It's just that's a wild, and for him it's normal, right?
Right.
For Faramir, that is a normal sight, and for the hobbits, that'd be something that's really, really strange. And for us to imagine that, I can go out in my backyard and I can watch it rise over the horizon. But if I was in Ithilien and regions of the Gondor, you'd have to pass through that darkness or above that darkness first. That's crazy.
Oh, it's wild.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Here's how much I'm tripping right now.
Do you feel weird?
I feel really weird,
bro.
Here's how weird I feel. I was just staring at your back shelf there, and I swore like a gremlin stepped out behind
Shut up.
that mini epics thing. Do you know if you saw Double Take City over here? I was like, what? Like
I saw you
thought-
looking back there. I
Yeah.
thought you were just like, man, Lane's getting deep.
Well, I thought something was falling off the shelf.
Come
I was
on,
like,
bro.
something's falling, and it just gone.
Did you eat mushrooms?
Gone, Barry, gone. It was gone. I don't even know.
That's from the name game. Don't give that away.
Sorry.
Starring Ben Affleck.
Sorry. So, anyways, yeah. All right, we're good. So that's cool. Again, a lot of just good techniques and what have you from Tolkien. I'm sure there's more there that we missed. So please let us know in the thread.
We can't hit
And,
home runs every time at bat. Sometimes
Guys,
you got to give a solid bunt, guys, and we just bunted. And
sacrifice bunted. Sacrifice.
but we got a run in.
We got to run it. Did you? Heck yeah, we did.
It
We
was
may
a
have won.
squeeze. It was a squeeze play.
A squeeze. Yeah. So, all right, friends, it is time for Bywater Post.
Yeah.
And thank you for listening this long. Honestly,
Yes.
it's been a task.
Yeah.
So this is from Chris Brock.
Chris Brock.
Chris Brock. So he says, "Hey guys, I'm a late convert to the pod and have recently just made it to your Two Towers recaps.
Wow.
So I'm catching up. I was a little apprehensive at first because I'm a Michigan native, so us lake folk don't trust many of those hobbits from south of the border.
Sure.
Wow. But as soon as I heard the pure Michigan music playing during the We Should Start a Podcast bits.
Chris, that was
Oh,
for you.
my.
I knew you would listen someday, and I knew that would get you in.
Oh, we had to. We knew that we would turn. Yeah, I mean, once you find out we're from the Shire of America in Ohio, I mean, no Michigan fan's going to listen. So
No.
we had to put the whole, pure Michigan thing in there. Appreciate the foresight of
Go blue. That's what I say.
Lane over here. But yeah, he says, I figured, you must be some okay halflings, right? Good. I now reside in the Westerlands of Northern California. Wow, where the big trees and the ent wives
for
still
sure.
roam. Yeah. I read The Lord of the Rings as a youth, but when the Fellowship movie came out, I was playing in a band, and we were on the road recording nearly constantly.
Holy crap.
Wow. So I didn't catch it. The following Christmas, my parents bought me the extended edition on DVD, which came with a coupon for free admission to the Two Towers. So I ended up watching the extended version of Fellowship on Christmas night and going the next morning to the first showing of Two Towers. That's how great they were. Wow. Then I went back and read the books again during our next spring/summer tour, and I was ready for Return of the King when it arrived that year.
So cool.
Thank you so much for starting this pod. I'm loving it so far. I do have a couple small suggestions here. Okay, this is good. So bookmarks in each episode description I think would be great. Sometimes don't know when to tune in for Bywater Post. That's actually a good idea, and I have thought about that. It's a timestamp.
Yeah.
Just letting people know, because it is being a podcast, if you want to, we've said this before, Lane, that there are parts of the show that some people like more than others.
Sure.
Like some people like just to listen to the first part. Some people want to just skip all of that show news stuff and get right into the reread, and kind of go from there. So I think that's a
great idea.
That's a really great idea. So, yeah. All right. So it just goes on to kind of say that, so, okay. The rest of this, I get, wait, is this you or me? Is this you or me that's just kind of slapping our lips together?
I mean,
it's me.
You gotta hit some of the
on now.
uppers like
Come
ASMR.
on now, Chris. You don't like the
that texture?
Come on. You know what I learned the other day? So Kurt Jones was on this mic.
I've been trying to imitate.
Me too. Have you noticed I've been doing that too?
Oh my gosh, he was
just on this thing. I love it. He was so comfortable with it. So that may be I don't know if that fixes the issue or if it doesn't fix it, but we can work on that too. So anyways, I hope all is well. Have a great holiday, and I look forward to catching up to date in the near future. Cheers, Chris. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it, man. And I'll see if I can get those timestamps in there for you guys, because that is kind of a neat little feature. You can do it on the YouTube videos a little easier. You can just sort of, when I put it in there, I can just type in the time and you can click and it'll jump you right there. With the podcast, depending on your app, you're just going to have to kind of actually slide over, and, it takes a little more effort. You know what I'm saying, Lane? You actually got to slide over and find the right time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's good. Strawberries with cream, Ez. So
go for some fiddles.
Walgreens. At the corner of Happy and Healthy. That was a commercial. We're getting paid. What has been the most difficult or maybe just most important decision of your life?
Whoa.
Your greatest crossroads, so to speak.
What? Is this is this serious?
This is a serious one, yeah.
This cannot be serious.
Yeah. I know mine, if you let me go first.
I also know mine, but yeah, go ahead.
No, you. Go
No,
ahead.
I'll go. You may go.
Let's go at the same time and we'll cross in the middle.
Let's do that.
So the most
when
important time of my life.
It was in high school.
The most decision I made.
And
no, we can't do this. We can't do this.
People are like, "What do you guys stop?" Yeah, seriously. You may go.
Yeah,
I got it. Ready for this? So I was. Here's the decision. This is my claim to fame. All right, I was playing football, and I don't know what happened. There was a dance after. It was a weird. I don't know. We had some Friday like. It wasn't homecoming. I don't know what it was. Are
you making this up right now?
No, I'm not. And we had some dance up in the cafeteria. And we were playing football. And it was like after, it was weird because it was, you don't typically do this, but like we opened it up. I don't know if it was a dance or it was just a hangout session, up in the cafeteria at Mount Vernon High School. And I was playing football, came in, and I was ready to go up there, see the girlfriend, get after it. And the crossroad, the decision that I faced here was whether or not I should. I can't. Lane's typing stuff in the dog, and I just can't. We do man. I mean, more gremlins are popping out from behind the bookshelf here. I don't even know what's happening. But after a football game, gotta go shower. Because I'm going upstairs to hang out with my buddies at this shindig that I can't remember what it was. And I get out of the shower, though, as a football player, and I don't remember what happened before the game or if somebody took my bag or whatnot, but I got nothing, man. I don't know where I've got my sweaty pads. Yes, I've got nothing.
So you go nude.
I've got sweaty pads. I've got all this other stuff. You had to smell good because you're going up to see, the girlfriend, your buddies or whatever. You just got out of the smelly, uniform or what have you, whatnot. So I was at a crossroad. I could just skip out. I don't know. It was, I made this decision to run to my car, in the, I think just a towel, and took off over there, got into the car, got the clothes, ran back in, and, had to run through the cheerleaders. Like, I don't know how it happened.
Really?
Came right, yeah. Morgan McMurrin. I mean, I'll never forget all these just like sitting here. I'm like right by the Spirit Rock.
Real.
No, right by the Spirit Rock. I'm like running back up into the thing. And I was like one of the last guys out too for some reason. Like I was talking with somebody after the game, and like it was kind of a dare. Like, dude, you won't, whatever. I was like, guys, come on, somebody help me out here. Somebody give me a pair of shorts or something or whatever. And everybody had already kind of cleaned out, so I took off, risked it. It was a great decision. Ended up,
getting a couple dates out of it?
Making some new friends with the cheerleaders. It was great. It was a fun time. So that was my crossroad. Big decision. Most important decision of my life. Now you go ahead and be serious.
My greatest crossroads was after I came back from New Zealand.
Wow.
And finished my student teaching. I was dead set on moving to New Zealand.
Okay.
I was going to move there and I was going to live there the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed. I loved it. And I was going to get a teaching job. I was going to work with my host family, the Sellers. I was going to work with Mrs. Seller, Margaret Mossell, to get a teaching job and move there and live there forever. And I came home and I fell in love with my home. I fell in love with Ohio.
Yeah.
And I think I've shared this a little bit before.
Right.
So forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but for most of my life, we moved around a lot. We lived in Chicago until I was 6, and then we moved to Ohio, and it was really hard on me. I didn't like it. I don't know. I had loved living in that big city, and coming back was hard. I mean, it was just a huge adjustment, and I was like 6 and 7. I never got over it.
Yeah.
And I never really considered Ohio my home. I didn't really have a home. Didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And so anyway, came back from New Zealand, and I fell in love. And I was proud of where I live, and I'm proud now of where I live. It's a place I never want to leave. I want to live the rest of my life here. And if you told me right now, get you a nice house, nice job, any place in New Zealand you want, anywhere in the world, I'd say nope. I'm good. I'm good. I visited there. Great. I've gotten to have my own adventures there, and with the love of my life, and that's enough. I don't want to live there. This is my own little corner of the Shire, and as soon as I leave it, even when I go a few miles away, I think about it, about getting back. And so anyway, so I fell in love with home and decided not to move back to New Zealand. And I often think about how different my life would have been, and not in a good way, if I hadn't made that decision, and all the things I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And the way my life, I have such a rich life. Like, I'm so blessed and have so many, I don't know. I just like, I think of my life, and I've been given miracles that I don't deserve. And, so yeah, I'm glad I chose the road I did.
I actually remember when you were talking about that. Yeah. You were actually,
I was dead set. I was serious, bro.
We all believed. I was like,
my dad thought I was
going.
Yep.
I was like, Lane is gone,
Yep. And it was actually, home and family that I thought, if I go there, I won't have money. And traveling back and forth from New Zealand, if you know this, is expensive. That's why people only go like once or twice in their life, or they're really rich and they can go whenever they want. But I was like, there will be a handful of times I'll see my family again.
Right.
And that's it. If this is my decision,
wow,
to live there and make my life there. And I couldn't do it. I was like, I don't know. So,
wow, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah,
I'm glad you.
And then I ran through some cheerleaders naked. And
wow.
Ends well, the ball's ends well,
all's well. Yeah, I mean, Jiminy. I really can't think of, though, a serious crossroad that I.
Yes, you can.
I mean,
the River Daughter. The River Daughter.
The River Daughter. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. Maybe I can.
Let's turn this into an episode of the appendices.
It's already there. It's already halfway there. We're 40 minutes into one. I will tell you something. Do you want something serious or not? Because I can just.
I do. Yeah. I think the uppers want something serious.
I do too. And now, sometimes we get funny with strawberries with cream. Sometimes we get serious. And so, I can't. Lane's still typing in the doc. So in all seriousness, I was at this is the God's honest truth. I will just tell you guys the God's honest truth. Is that what you want? Okay, I'll tell it to you. That's fine. Here it is. This is I don't know if this is a reward. This is what do you call this? A little nugget here for those who have actually put up with us for this long.
Yeah.
And I just let me think here. How do I put this? I was at a church camp. Okay. Isn't that how all great stories start? You're at some camp.
Yes.
Band camp, church camp, whatever it means. Football camp, whatever. No, but I'm at this church camp and
camping. You forgot that one.
Camping, yeah, right. And I don't know. I was with a bunch of people my age, some kids younger. I was one of the, I guess, like counselors there. I was kind of like, what do you call it? I don't know. I was in charge. I was in charge of a group.
Well, that's scary.
I don't even know what my title was, but I was in charge. I was in charge. All right. So, like, it's crazy. We're here. We're having a bunch of different fun events. Got some little Bible studies going on. Eating good food, meeting new people, having a good time. And at night we would go have this service. We'd have a service, and I don't know. I think it was crazy. Like, I opened the first service. I don't know if this is crazy that I'm telling you this. I opened the first service. I was up there with an old friend of mine and started the service. Had a good time. I was talking about the things, talking about the good word, talking about things I had grew up, in and around, and It was crazy. It was just crazy. It was really interesting when I think back on it, and to think about who I am now and just where I've come from, Lincoln nonstop. I'm sorry. Now my serious moment is just ruined. Okay,
sorry.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm fine. I'm composed.
So, anyways, I'm at this might as well call it like a youth revival. I think is what it actually was called. And so there's a lot of people, and I was surprised the first day when these pastors and different folks came up to me and they asked me to open. It's just like open the service, opening prayer, opening different thing, whatever, blah blah blah. Did that on the I think it was like Thursday, Friday. It was like Saturday night we had this service, right? It got real serious, real intense. People being, a lot of good things were happening, right? I did something, Lane, that I haven't done. I don't know if I ever told you this. I literally was in the back of the church, back of this big open area, right? And everyone's just had people were just, as they say in our faith, in the Christian faith, the Spirit's moving. Yeah. Okay, Spirit's moving among people and all this good stuff. I literally got down back in the back of the church and prayed. I was praying.
Okay.
All right.
I thought it was gonna be way more shocking than that.
It's not more shocking than that. It's I was back there praying, and here's what I prayed for. I asked that God show me exactly where I stood. Just exactly. Mm-hmm.
You mean literally?
Literally where I stood, right where. Show me
and did he
in
say,
my mind.
Open your eyes.
He said, oh my gosh. No, where I stood in him spiritually.
Yeah.
Right? And
did he show you?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
And I tell you right now,
is that like meeting with Gandalf kind of?
It's crazy. It's crazy. And it really, like, it's a point in time in my life where I'd never asked for anything so I don't know. Like, it was bizarre. I went and spoke to my dad, who I've told you folks is a minister, and let me just tell you, when my dad always told me, if you ask, you'll receive.
Yeah.
And I legitimately asked in all seriousness. I was in a place where I was like, you know what? I'm going to see what happens here. I'm going to try to be as serious as I can. I'm going to try to be as devout, literally just where am I at? And he did show me. And let me tell you, I was shocked. And I've been on a journey ever since that point in time. Yeah.
How long ago was this?
This was after college.
Okay.
I was right in between, the summer before I started my job at Olentangy. Yeah.
Wow.
As a teacher.
6 years?
No, longer
7
than that.
years.
Yeah. So I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it's been a bit. So anyways, there's a crossroads. So for me, I had
crossroads, my friend.
You take that information when you're, I guess, when you've been shown something or you've been something's revealed to you, you have to decide what to do with it.
What to do with it.
Yeah. I think that's what happens when you come to a crossroad.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know.
Wow.
Like, wear the towel, run to the parking lot, or don't wear the towel and be known, countywide instead of citywide. Yeah, be a legend. So I wore the towel. Okay, I wore the towel.
I love it. You shared the load.
I sure did.
How can people share the load?
I sure did share the load. You're not even kidding. All right, friends. Well, hey, honestly, we do apologize I apologize for the slap happy. This has just been. I've been having fun. I'm having fun with my friend, and I hope you guys are okay with that because we needed this. I think he and I just needed just to relax a little bit after.
That was
intense.
Talking about the Spirit moving.
Yeah,
when
right.
We were sitting there with Shane. I felt the Spirit moving. That moment where he got, we
emotional.
Talked about Tammy, and he said, I've got tears in my eyes now, and we could. It wasn't like being on the phone. We were like, is he being serious or?
No,
we saw his face and we saw him wiping tears away, and it was powerful. And after that, you kind of have to have a little slap happy episode because that was a deep connection we had, and
it was jarring.
And it was even deeper because we were sitting here thinking like, you guys are going to get to enjoy this. You're going to be a part of that too, and experience it as well. And it's powerful.
Yeah, it was. It actually really was, guys. And then the advice that he gave us.
Yeah.
We're recording this knowing you guys haven't even heard it yet. We haven't got any feedback from you, because we had to record this early. And so for us, we're just shook a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, but if you want to help us share the load,
we're woke.
We're woke. We are woke. Oh, gosh. if you want to share the load, head on over to patreon.com/UpTalking Tolkien. There you can check out all of our extra content, just various things. Oh, I did want to make an announcement here.
Sure.
I have a friend, one of my order.
You have a friend?
Another friend.
It's fascinating. Well, other than me.
Other than
because
Lane.
we're friends.
We are sometimes friends. Lane and I go back and forth on this. He goes forth, I go back. What is happening? I was just trying to make a joke and it didn't work.
What does that mean?
I don't know, and I don't want you to elaborate, nor do I want anyone else to think any longer on that.
Back and
Anyways, one of my order. Okay, boy, we've reached our limit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, one of my order is maybe joining us on a podcast soon, and may also
The gross clothed.
Yes.
You're the flannel wizard. He's the gross clothed.
That's right. He is. And so you may be hearing from him on Patreon. So stay tuned if you're interested.
It's the Wandering Wizards. It's
Hearing
finally going to be kicking off. I'm excited
a couple
about
wizards talk, because I know that we're going to be busy with Crotch Fruit number 2, and so I just I'm actually prepping a couple Patreon episodes just in case something were to happen. To make sure that we're good to go there, and we may need a little bit of a break just because of the baby. So yeah, I'm sure you guys understand that.
We've got the Instagram page. There's the Twitter. There's the Facebook page. It's all out there. Go ahead and remember to tag your wonderful, beautiful book club on every LOTR on Prime post that you get, because eventually we would love to talk to them and bring you conversations from them in the same way we have with Tammy and Shane. I don't know that they would be nearly as meaningful.
Right,
but it would be cool eventually. I don't know. We don't know how this.
We don't know.
We don't know how this show is going to move us or who's going to be involved. Both of them could be involved. We don't know.
Yeah.
There's also the newsletter with Jen Shepard that's coming out all the time. The Bywater Post. Erica Barnes is working on the website. We've got all kinds of opportunities that are going to be coming up with Patreon, and also in the summertime, guys, we'll have much more free time in between working on the studio and family life to get more of those ideas out and produced for you. So
we'll also get a lot more, just behind the scenes on the studio, different things like that going on as well. So,
which, by the way, a huge thanks to you guys. We have reached our goal by like 275%.
Yeah.
And close to $2,500 that we can put right away, straight away to
the studio,
to getting that framed out and everything.
Yeah.
So that is a huge thank you and a huge up to you guys. And we're so blessed by all of you. So
yeah, we really are. If you want to send us anything, you can send that to the Shire, P.O. Box 96, Amanda 043102. And Lane, I have a serious question for you.
Yeah.
Have you ever been 2 hours and 24 minutes into a podcast and just thought, I don't know, maybe we're more like 2 hours at this point, I think, and thought, how do we salvage this?
Yes. Weekly. Every single week.
Every single week. We just wanted to share that little insight with you guys. So
maybe some heavy editing.
We always think about that as we approach the end. So there you go.
Time for some weekly well wishes, formerly fortnight farewells. We want to thank you for, sort of crossing over with us, I guess. Next episode,
Up the stairs we go, then the tunnel.
which will lead us to who knows where in the Chapter 8, the stairs of Kirithon.
If you like our podcast, based on previous episodes, don't forget to subscribe, like us, write a review, leave a comment, or send us a Shadowfax.
We'll see you in I don't know when we'll see you next, but it'll be soon. Probably in a Hobbit fortnight. And remember, Frodo lives.
Best episode we've ever done. I'm just kidding.